Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I have a very interesting subject to talk about today. Obviously, it's going to be centered out on cross-border payments. But as we do look at XRP, I've gotten so many questions around XRP's price the last couple days because I made a video real quick talking about the $7 to $10 XRP that I believe is very probable on the next run up. And a lot of people said, like, Nick, why don't you think that it can go to $100? Why don't you think that it can go here, there, wherever, right? So $100 XRP, do I think that this is a possibility? 100%. I have actually zero doubt about XRP achieving incredible heights in terms of valuations because I believe in XRP's actual value. I also believe in the XRP solution to a lot of big problems around the traditional payments means, which is cross-border payments. Cross-border payments is one of the largest markets out there. And ultimately, as we do look at XRP, this would be about a $5.2 trillion market cap going off of the circulating supply, going off of the max supply. If we were to hit $100, it would be about $10 trillion in market cap. Now, I know to some people this might, say, oh, well, market cap matters and 10 trillion is never going to happen for XRP. And I understand how easy it is to say that because as we do look at, Bitcoin topped out at $1 trillion. Ethereum topped out at about $500 billion on the last run up. So as we do look at XRP going to $10 trillion, it's unbelievable, right? But you got to remember that I'm not talking about XRP going to $100 next year or the year after that. I'm talking about long term. So as we do look at this, you need to make sure that you understand that XRP is not going to go to $100 tomorrow or next week. But I do think that XRP could hit, $100, give or take, within the next, I would say, 7 to I would say 10 years, right? So by 2030, 2033, I could see XRP being $100 plus. And this could happen sooner. I'm just saying, that's my timeline on it. And the reasoning why I put my timeline on it like that is because we've heard discussions around regulations around crypto on how there wouldn't be a globalized or a global harmonized approach to regulations until 2025. A lot of this does take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen instantly how everyone says it will. So as we do look at XRP, I could see it going to $100. It is a probability. And in fact, I actually think that's a really high probability, especially once you have regulations in this space and a lot of the market gets wiped out and the only ones left are utility tokens that are being utilized. But also it's because of what we always hear from the Ripple team and around Ripple, because they have centered out on cross-border payment technology utilizing crypto. And we do see here from Brendan Barry, great to speak with payments about crypto utility and cross-border payments. And this is from Payments. Ripple's Brendan Barry tells us why B2B exporter payments and remittances are a space in which you can see the impact of crypto and blockchain here and now. Listen closely to this.
We have seen really significant adoption and interest from businesses in the last handful of years, and that's been continuing to accelerate. And when I think about the underlying reason for why adoption is increasing, it's because there's utility.
And yeah, it is the truth, especially around this space. As we go all the way back in time, I talked to you guys about this article many times. This goes all the way back to February of 2021. How new entrants are redefining cross-border payments. So in this article, they talk about how cross-border payments is ripe for disruption. This is because the demands that are there, but also the overall solutions that are out there already today. But the biggest problem is the obstacles to adoption. You got to look at regulations, regulatory problems within certain areas. You also have to think about how, these areas want to work and how they don't want to utilize certain technologies. As we do look at the world of cross-border payments, it's extremely complex. So as we do look at it, I do think that we are getting there. I think that we are getting to the point where we are about to see significant adoption, but it's going to take a little bit more time. And I know that a lot of people don't like that, but the best way to shake out weak hands is by making them impatient. I've seen a lot of people come to me asking me hey, should I flip my XRP into this coin or that coin? It's do you not understand what you hold? Like, as we look at XRP, as we look at this market, XRP to me is just, I have a massive bag of XRP that I just won't touch. I also have a trade bag of XRP that I will touch. I will sell it and I will flip it back into XRP to, re-up my bag for less capital. I don't need to keep investing into XRP if I'm going to keep flipping it and buying more XRP. But as we do look at this, like, I believe that the future of cross-border payment technology is crypto. I don't think, like, for a second that the future of cross-border payments does not include crypto. And this is a $156 trillion market. And this continues to grow. They're saying that it's projected to hit 250 trillion by 2027. So as this market continues to grow and as the payment flows continue to grow, there's a significant need for instant payments. There's a significant need for lower cost. There's a lot of problems within the cross-border payment technology space that I've talked about many times on this channel. But as we do look at some of these flows like B2B, which is exactly what Ripple is focused on, B2B payments, this is a $150 trillion market. But then you look at the other ones, and yes, they do have significant amounts of money as well tied to them. I've actually talked about how a lot of this is actually centered on XLM as well, which is like the P2P space, but it's still in the trillions of dollars for them. So as we do look at both of these technologies, XLM and XRP, I think that they're both perfect for the cross-border payment sector. But also Ripple has been adamant about, making sure people know about the cross-border payment space, and that these significant solutions already are here. For example, money sent cross-border today regularly arrives days later, creating cash flow challenges and adding uncertainty and additional costs into business-critical transactions. Explore our on-demand liquidity solution. And I've been talking about these solutions for so long. And as we do look at it, like going all the way back to 2020, I've recently seen a lot of people coming out of like the woodwork and saying like, hey, Ripple's not utilizing XRP. Cross-border payments on Ripple are not utilized with XRP. Like nothing is using XRP. And although it's very easy to say that, I think that's extremely flawed because there is a lot of use of XRP. It's just not as significant as most people would want to believe. You also have to remember, like, how much money is Ripple actually moving right now? Are they moving, $10 trillion? Are they moving, $5 trillion? No, they're not. They're moving billions of dollars right now. So you got to understand that Ripple is still, like, we should be focused on Ripple, on what they're doing, because they're not, moving trillions of dollars just yet. But I do think that, in time, they will be moving probably, I would argue, $5 to $10 trillion. And I think that that is a pretty low number, considering the fact that, like, I'm just being conservative with it. They will probably move a larger, percentage of that money. And I think that it will all go through RippleNet with XRP. And you could say that that is speculation. But, as we do look at these solutions, specifically centered around XRP, as you do see here on this image, going all the way back to 2020. This was sourcing line of credit actually through on-demand liquidity. They got rid of line of credit. This was one of the earlier use cases. As you guys do see here, it doesn't show up. This was one of the earlier use cases that I personally centered out on, because what it allowed was SMEs to source XRP for liquidity. But I think that now with the liquidity hub, it kind of replaced the line of credit idea, but they were going to scale cross-border payments using XRP, but that's on-demand liquidity, right? So on-demand liquidity still is there, and it's all centered out on XRP. Like, XRP is the main show on a lot of these things. Even if you go up here to central bank digital currencies, and you go ahead on that video, I've shared this as well on this video, or on this channel. This video here, if you go to like 3/4 in, XRP, they're centering XRP as the bridge currency for CBDCs, and CBDCs are happening in real time. Although a lot of people have a lot of problems with them. Me personally, I don't really like CBDCs all that much either. XRP would be centered between all of them as a bridge currency, and I think that players like Ripple are actually beneficial for CBDCs because they are providing a lot of privacy technology around them as well. But also, we continue to see the problems around cross-border payments becoming a big problem. This was November 2022. And we seen Ripple actually center out on the big problem around them. Here you guys have, on average, the fee for consumers to send money across borders is 7% or $14 to send $200, which is ridiculous. A fee often incurred by the person receiving the money. For many, that $200 isn't an added bonus. It can be life-changing. And I actually, like, a lot of people don't think that these fees are that bad. And that's just the benefit of being in a place like the US, where, you know, $14 to move $200 isn't going to, you know, hurt you too much. But I work with a lot of overseas clients. I work with a lot of people around the world, and you know, some of these individuals that are you know, working with me, you know, $14, I usually cover the fee, because $14 is a lot of money to some of these places. So as we do look at this, like, this is becoming a big issue globally. So, you know, when we look at cross-border payments, I think that it could very well be a huge area of opportunity for crypto, and it's already become a huge area of opportunity as well. And here we actually have from Brendan Barry: as the world becomes more global and connected, be it a distributed workforce or an international base of suppliers or customers, companies around the world are burdened by the broken state of payments. After years of working closely with the payment service providers, banks, fintechs, and financial institutions, we intimately understand the challenges our customers face on a daily basis. And yeah, it really is true. Like, Ripple is, you know, so close to these problems. They understand these problems, and they did for years and years now. I would not write off the idea of, like, XRP not hitting, you know, $1 trillion in market cap. I would not write off the idea of XRP hitting 5 or 10 or possibly even more, right? Because I've seen a lot of people talking about, you know, certain prices on XRP. And, you know, I think that a lot of people kind of miss the point on time frames, right? Because, you know, in order for XRP to hit a lot of these prices, like, yeah, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, look at it like this. Bitcoin hit $1 trillion in market cap. Granted, yes, Bitcoin does not have the same use case advantage that XRP does, but it took Bitcoin well over, what, 13 or 12 years, almost 13 years. So it takes time for this to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. But when you look at the world of some of these companies like Apple and a few other ones that have hit multiples of trillions of dollars in market cap, I do think that XRP could, because what XRP will do is actually disrupt a lot of those cash flow businesses that are, you know, doing business outside of the US, business globally, and ultimately could help them with their payment technology as well. So I think that this is much bigger than what anyone can really anticipate. And also, we recently seen the IMF news around, you know, certain cross-border coins and digital coins and creating their own coins and all this kind of stuff. Well, here you guys have panel 4 of the DMI symposium. And this is actually talking about the next steps for cross-border payments. This got posted on the 10th. And this was by IMF. And we do see RTGS Global Limited, BOM, and even Ripple join them. And it's funny because they're just casually sitting next to, like, JP Morgan and some of these larger companies. It's wild to me. And we do see cross-border payment system remains the heart of the financial system. Ultimate goal here is that we have a very efficient way of exchanging value. This is James Wallace. Cross-border is the potential exciting and innovative use case here for CBDCs. And as we do look at CBDCs, I want you guys to understand that, yeah, CBDCs are also a big focus point. The UAE actually recently talked about launching their digital currency for domestic cross-border payments as well, because they know that CBDCs could ultimately bring a major facelift to the entire industry. But the thing is that the biggest thing around CBDCs that a lot of people forget is how big of an opportunity this is for Ripple as well. Recently, Ripple expanded within Dubai. They became a big name to expand in Dubai, and it's because of regulations and things like that. But also, I believe that they see value here. They see a big value added for their company, but also as their solutions, because Dubai wants to have progressive cross-border payment technology as well happening within their area. Same with anywhere, right? all of these nations are fighting to become a crypto hub. And when we look at that, it's because of what crypto could do to their infrastructure, payment infrastructure, digital infrastructure. I mean, you name it, right? This will bleed into and disrupt every single sector, every single industry. I've said it many times on this channel. I have zero doubt about that. And it's because of how disruptive it is. But also, as we do look at CBDCs, we have over here, every single central bank we talk to talks to us about cross-border payments. This is from James Wallace, which is one of the leading names around CBDCs and payments with Ripple. But when you go over here, recently Ripple was ranked #1 and an established leader for CBDCs from 15 vendors in a recent report from Juniper Research, highlighting the significant transaction growth to 213 billion by 2030 globally. And that's just cross-border payments. Like this is not, or this is just CBDCs in terms of transactions around CBDCs, not cross-border payments. And you could see like where Ripple is, you could see all of the players tied to this, and you can see the key findings. Ripple was ranked #1 and an established leader for CBDCs for several reasons. Its existing success with RippleNet and its technological capabilities within the space, its existing deployments and growth within the emerging space as well. And this should show you the power behind Ripple and their overall solutions. Like I actually do think that Ripple is becoming a major player around CBDCs. And I think that it really is because of their focus point. Recently, going back to June of 2022, we've seen an accelerated shift to instant payments across Europe. Within this, they do also talk about instant payments and how they are becoming a big demand within a lot of areas in terms of Europe, the UK, etc. Like for an example, down here, we do see in the UK, the faster payment system enables payments to move quickly and securely to and between UK bank accounts 24 hours a day. In 2021 alone, FPS processed 3.4 billion payments, an increase of 20% from 2020, with a value of 2.6 trillion pounds, an increase of 24% from 2020. The system is also growing rapidly in terms of participating financial institutions. 40 banks, PSPs, and fintechs have joined FPS to date. And by the way, faster payments, they've actually had joint articles written with Ripple many times. They're also a big player to watch for. But we do see expanding crypto forward solutions like Ripple's crypto payment solution, which frees up working capital by eliminating the need for pre-funding and removes the need for complex clearing mechanisms in the background, can open new doors to make instant payments available to more PSPs. Embracing this crypto for bank strategy would further enable instant payments across Europe, regardless of currency symmetry or capital resources. And again, like as these areas like the UK, have these instant payments, they still need a bridge currency as well. Like all of these other areas that are transacting 24/7, 365, if you will, I do think that a bridge currency could ultimately help embrace a fully open system and actually completely destroy any sort of fragmentation that there is. That's why we do look at like regardless of currency symmetry, because when we look at what's happening around the world, payments are changing. You're seeing digital payments, physical payments still. There's a lot of things. Digital currencies are becoming a big thing. CBDCs are becoming a big thing. Stable coins as well. There's a lot of stable coin, regulation talks. So as we do look at this, like to me, the need for a bridge currency that could settle any two currencies is becoming a big demanded area. And I think that as we look at Ripple, I think that that's their goal around CBDCs. This is actually from the Digital Pound Foundation's website, and this is all sourcing CBDC discussions from Ripple. And you can see this, like the future of CBDCs. And this was the payment flows from 100 million today to 213 billion by 2030. This is the highlight of CBDC adoption and use, but also we have the Central Bank of Montenegro signs agreement with Ripple to develop a digital currency strategy and pilot privacy and central bank digital currency, which is why I was like talking about like why Ripple could become a big player and why it will actually be beneficial for the retail sector to withhold our privacy and control around currency, innovation in central bank digital currencies, to say the global CBDC adoption as well. Like you could see how adamant Ripple is about being behind a lot of these CBDC developments and innovations. And I think that as we do look at what's happening around our current financial system, we are seeing an evolution. We are seeing, a new financial system rising from the ashes of what is being destroyed. Our current financial system, as everyone wants to look at it and say like, well, we could retain, fiat currency. We could retain our traditional system. We don't need a new financial system. I want you all to understand that, as we are currently standing right now, our financial system is in ruin. And around the world, the financial system has failed, and it's going to continue to fail unless we innovate beyond the means of, physical cash. It just really is that simple, because as we do look at physical, there's a lot of problems tied to it, but also as we do look at even digital, there could still be a lot of problems tied to it. But the problem is, and the biggest issue that I've mentioned, is the fact that a reserve currency is currently needed. With a digital system, you don't need a reserve currency. I've talked about these CBDCs on why CBDCs will most likely become a big adopted innovation. It's because all of these nations will rely on their own CBDC. There will no longer be a reserve currency. It will be a fully decentralized digital system, and you will have a decentralized bridge currency, and that could very well be XRP. And I've talked about that as well. Now, yes, that's speculation. Sure, call it that, what you will. But I don't think that there's really anything else out there that could instantly settle transactions of any two currencies. That's why atomic settlement is a very, very important subject. Yes, there is other currencies that could possibly do so. A lot of people brought up XLM, but in my opinion, XRP has been tested for years and years, and I'm talking about well over a decade now. So I do think that it would be in their best interest to utilize XRP, but I might be wrong. But as we do look at the connections, as we do look at, individuals like James Wallace sitting next to some of the leaders around the financial space, and this is by, a discussion held by the IMF these are leaders around the payment technology space. I just have zero doubt. And there's always been these connections between even Brad Garlinghouse with Christine Lagarde and all these other major names. I know for a fact that I've gone down the rabbit hole so many times, and the connections that I have found with Ripple creates this this idea in my mind that Ripple is just so much bigger than what they actually let on, and there's a much bigger play at hand right now, even around the lawsuit, right? I've talked about how the lawsuit could essentially be fake, and we could just be seeing a major show. That could very well be a possibility. And as we do look at the current financial system, we know that something is about to change, and a big event is brewing, and that could very well be the new financial system on digital rails. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.